Hello and welcome to another Typical Boro Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Dixon. We have another packed podcast today to get through. To help me do so, I have the Boro version of the Cray Twins, fresh with his new trim. We have Mr. Reggie Bandera. You all right, Graham?
Very good, mate. Very good. I like that one.
And he's hiding his trim. Of course, it's Mr. Ronnie Cutler. Welcome to the podcast, John.
Morning, chaps.
There's very coffee out there, Ronnie Cutler.
Well, you two guys were down at Ewood Park yesterday with another 7,400 amazing travelling army, all the way down to Ewood Park. However, left frustrated again. Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0. There was two changes to the team. Dale Fry and David Strelitz came back into the team for the injured Hayden Hackney, and Jeremy Sarmiento dropped to the bench. Middlesbrough went to a back three, as they did against Birmingham. I'll come to you, Cut. You made the trip down. What was your thoughts on the team news to start with, and then on the first half?
To be honest, I didn't mind the team. I was glad to see Dale back. I think I mentioned last week, if he'd have been playing the previous two games, I don't think we'd have conceded either of them goals. So I was glad for that. And I don't mind Strelic if he's playing in a two. We can delve a little bit more into his performance later on, where I won't be waxing lyrical, but don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I thought we started the game off really well. I think it's just a bit of repetition every week, isn't it? We're not taking the chances. We had some glorious chances yesterday. One good save by the keeper. But it's like they're afraid to shoot from some positions, which is frustrating. Have a shot, could bobble about. You don't know where it's going to fall. But yeah, I'm sure we'll delve deeper into it later. But frustrating. But we didn't lose any ground. We're still in the same position with a game less to go. So I'm still positive.
Yeah, I mean, the first half, we were wondering how we're going to cope without the best midfield player in the league and Hayden Hackney. We actually created some really good chances, which fell to our midfield players. Obviously, Aidan Morris and Brown in particular, Graham.
Yeah.
Do you think we actually missed Hayden Hackney yesterday?
Yeah, ironically, if Hackney was in them positions where Brown found himself and Morris, he probably would have scored.
I agree.
That was the annoying part of the game, really. I mean, we controlled the game start to finish. It was easy for us in terms of domination. But again, Cuts mentioned it, it's the same old failings. And, you know, someone as optimistic as me, even I left the ground yesterday pretty deflated, just because I'm sick of seeing the same chances, simple chances, routine chances being missed. Not by strikers, but by midfielders as well. There's pretty much everybody in that team can probably be guilty of missing a chance at some point this season. So it's a collective rather than, you know, hammering individuals. You could say he's crap, hang him out to dry. But as a team, you've got to take these chances, because I don't want to say it'll cost us, but it's knife-edge stuff at the moment. We can't afford to miss any more chances, because we're not going to be given a run of results, which we've had in terms of other teams dropping points, because we have got very, very lucky. But yes, we're still second. The season effectively starts now. 7 cup finals. We say it every week. Hopefully it'll be 6 cup finals, 5 cup finals, and we'll still be second. But we have to start taking chances, because it's getting frustrating. It's getting embarrassing, really, as well. When you have that amount of the ball and you don't do anything with it.
It's rinse and repeat. It's almost like repeating the same podcast sometimes over the last 6-7 weeks, because we seem to be saying the same things with the same problems. But it's different players missing the chances as well. We can't just put it down to Tommy Conway or a David Strelitz or who. It's different players missing the chances now. It's Alan Brown. It's Morris. It's different players getting these opportunities. Yet collectively as a team, we're not clinical. We're not ruthless enough. If you're Kim Hellberg, again, there's not much the man can do, is there, Cuts, to make it any better. He's putting teams out that are, tactically set up well. We've got all the possession. We're patient. We're creating 5 or 6 really good chances every games. We've got set pieces. We're stats on corners are high. Everything is in place apart from the final thing, which is just putting that ball in the back of the net, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if we hadn't watched any of the games and you had a still of chances, of like freeze the photo of where players were, you would have expected to be scoring 70-80% of some of the chances that we've missed. And like you say, it's not just the strikers, it's collective. Some of the midfielders. Been a big fan of Brown. I thought he was off it a little bit yesterday. He'll know that himself. But yeah, you've got to start putting them away at some point. The only thing is, like I keep saying, we're not losing ground. We're still in the same position as we were before the game yesterday with one less, sorry. So you've just got to move on, haven't you? Surely it can't keep going like this every week from now to the end of the season, and I don't expect it to. I think they will find the mojo. Things will start falling for us. I mean, I think the disappointing thing for me yesterday, we got into some good positions wide, and just the final ball let us down a little bit yesterday. I know you make your own luck, but nothing seems to be falling for us in the box off little rebounds or touches that defenders are doing. Nothing seems to be falling for us at the moment. Now, I am convinced that will change, but time will tell.
I've said on here for weeks, Cuts, that we're a luckless team. Now, I know you make your own luck as well, but we don't seem to get decisions off referees, and, we don't get the ricochets, a deflection, an own goal, a kamikaze mistake by the opposition. We all seem to have to work really hard for every goal we get. Second half, Graham.
Yeah,
he's made some changes in the second half. Castledine, Bangura, Sarmiento all went reduced during the second half. Luke Ayling, Matt Target, David Strelets. We can't find a way through. Were you a little bit surprised that we didn't see with maybe 15 minutes to go a Callie Sen, a Sonja Hansen, a Cruz Iber coming on to maybe try and nick a goal?
I've mentioned it a few times now, particularly on my Twitter feed. Cruz Iber, I'd go for him, for the last 10, 15 in every single game now, from now till the end of the season. Why not? We've tried everything else and it doesn't work. Every single substitution yesterday didn't have the desired effect for me. There was no impact whatsoever. In fact, the game actually petered out into nothingness and the clock was just ticking so fast. It seems to be happening every game now where we're chasing something, we're trying to get that elusive goal and we just can't do it. And the more you do that, the more frustrating you become, and the clock does seem to tick away faster. There's an apathy about the players. They almost think that they've got all day to score. We haven't. You've got to get out there and do the job. The 3 chances, particularly first half in isolation, were gilt-edged chances. They've got to go in. They've got to hit the target at some point. And I don't know how Morris has shanked that one into the side netting from 7 yards or something. It's fallen beautifully from him. He's made a great run. It was a brilliant move to penetrate that defence and get through them. And he's just got to size himself up and show a bit of composure. Now, I'll mention this now. I don't know whether they actually practice shooting in training. For me, I'm looking at a team that just looks like they do rondos all day and just possession-based training. I'd love to know. I'd love the question to be asked from the press in terms of what they do, how a session is laid out, what they actually work on, because every single player just seems to go to pieces in the box. They just have no composure, and that's a worry. And I know I'm always trying to defend Tommy, but even yesterday, that dreadful touch on his back foot, on his left foot, from a great ball in by Strelec, he's just got to take down his back foot, hit it first time across the keeper into the other corner, where he didn't. The touch was desperate. And Brown, I don't know why he's chopped back onto his left foot. He's just got to put his laces through that ball in that situation. So, yeah, agonising, and it's happening every week, and it's very, very frustrating. However, I still will back the team because I believe, like John, it will turn for us. It's happened before where we've been on a run where we didn't score in 4 hours of football, did we, Christmas time? That was dreadful as well, and we bounced back. But it's a little bit alarming that it's happened again. We arrested that problem, just post-Christmas, and we went on a decent run. But I'm a little bit disturbed that it's happened again, and I don't think it should be. We've got to start taking chances.
I mean, you mentioned there, the players, the chances that they've missed there. For me, it doesn't matter how much training you do, those misses were poor techniques.
Shocking.
As a professional footballer, if you're Aidan Morris, you've got to go across the goalkeeper. If you go across the goalkeeper, somebody can come in at the back post. I think Strelets was there. They might get a tap in. The keeper might palm it out. To go in the post was a really poor decision. Same with, Alan Brown chopping back. You've got to just hit the ball across the keeper.
Yeah.
Same with Tommy Conway, take a touch and hit it, or hit it first time, like you said. Do you think maybe this is the nerves are playing a part, the pressure?
No, I
because
don't.
There's no reason why they would be so, inept in those positions.
I just think it's ranked bad play, and they're not practicing enough in these tense situations. Be nice, like I say, mentioned regarding the training, if they could shed a bit of light on what they actually do, because it's clear that we just we're not able to shoot. There's times when we should shoot and we don't shoot. This propensity to overplay all the time and almost try and score the perfect goal. It's frustrating, but when it comes off, it looks great, but it doesn't come off often enough, I'm afraid. So we've got to start just being a little bit more rugged, mix it up a little bit. We just look very, very robotic. It's so obvious now, pattern of play, irrespective of the system. You know Tommy's going to play, he's going to play up front, but he's going to play wide. Then you've got to hope that runners come in. But at the moment, we don't have enough runners. And when we do have runners and they connect with the ball, they can't shoot properly. So you look at Morris's game, I mean, yesterday, I do not know why he's trying to put his laces through that ball. He's got to stroke that across the keeper into the other corner. He's smashed it as hard as he possibly can. I think he thought it was like a Jeff Hurst moment. They think it's all over. He's almost going for a glory goal, you know, and he didn't need to. Just have a bit more brain power in these situations, please, because it's going to affect us.
Cuts, you're a big Tommy Conway fan, as we all know. Is it time to end this sort of project of Tommy Conway being a left-sided attacker now and say, look, it's not really working, you're not getting in the positions enough, you're not getting many shots on goal, you're not affecting the game enough as much as you try and work hard and you've got the endeavour. Is it time to scrap this now a little bit and maybe try to get Tommy Conway closer to David Strelitz or playing a two or playing a partnership? Because when we need something in the dying moments of a game yesterday at Blackburn, you've got the 7,500 fans. There's nothing in the box. There's nothing to hit. If you're trying to, fizz a cross in or whip a cross in, you haven't got any height. You haven't got any presence in the box. I would rather finish the game with a Tommy Conway alongside a David Strelitz in the box, pushing on a Dale Fry, getting Sarmiento wide, getting Castledine wide, trying to get the balls in the box, rather than yesterday, which just seems all very congested and all very like off-the-cuff football, almost trying to walk it in, rather than just get the ball in the mixer, shall we say, is a better word for it. Is it time to maybe ditch this now with Tommy Conway and try to say, look, for the last 7 games, Tommy, I want you to play through the middle. I want you to try and get a partnership with Strelitz. I want you to stay in the box because we need you to, between now and the end of the season, we need you to get 3 or 4 goals. That's going to fire us to promotion.
I understand what you're saying completely, but then who's coming in and playing wide for Tommy? You bring Whittaker in, it's what have you done for me lately? Last couple of months, he's done absolutely nothing. Sarmiento, what's he done to deserve a starting place? So if you take Tommy out, one of them two are coming in. So you're quite happy going forward with that? I don't think fans would be over enthusiastic with Whittaker coming back in for the Millwall game.
Something's got to change though, Cuts, because it's obviously not working now. This is a problem that's not going away. If you look at Middlesbrough's record now against the bottom 7 teams in the Championship, we've played the bottom teams now, the bottom 7, shall we say, 12 times. A possible 36 points were for grabs. We've only taken 18. So the statistics are telling you that we can't break these teams down. The formation we're playing with Conway on that left, he's not getting enough assists, he's not getting enough goals. Maybe we've just got to try and change it. And changing it, for me, would be getting Tommy Conway back in the mixer, back in alongside David Strelitz, trying to get maybe the Tommy Conway that we had last season, where he played more through the middle.
I think it's interesting to say it's not working. 4th top scorers in the league and we're 2nd in the league. I don't know what's not working.
Well, this is the stats that people keep bringing out. It seems like because other teams are being inconsistent. I'll play devil's advocate. Cuts. Middlesbrough for me should now be up and over the hills and away in promoted with Coventry. The chances we've had. When you look at the games that we should have won against your Charltons, against your Blackburns, against your Portsmouths, against your Leicesters, against your Oxfords, against these games, Middlesbrough, if we just won a third of those games, we'll be up now and over the hills and looking to win the division. Well, the reason that we're not, for me, is on Middlesbrough. If we don't get promoted this season, that's not because the other teams have been particularly great. I think it's a pretty poor league this year. It's because it's on us. We've been not good enough to break these bang average sides down and not put them to the sword. we've got to find a solution to do that. We're still in the mix because the other teams have been so poor lately, giving us chances, get out of jail free cards almost, as you call it. Yesterday again, we got the perfect result with Millwall, drawn with Ipswich. Last week, we got the perfect result with Millwall, getting beat at home to Blackburn after winning 1-0, got a man sent off, got beat 2-1. It's other teams are keeping us in the mix. We're not doing it ourselves. And we've got to find a way now. We're still in it. 7 games to go, 7 cup finals. But we've got to find a way now to get over this problem.
Yeah, again, I completely understand where you're coming from. But Fergie would call it squeaky bum time. Players are going to have nerves. It's not only us, because the teams Millwall and Ipswich haven't overtook us. We're still second place. So it's not just us that it's happening now. You say things aren't working. We've lost 8 games in how many have we played? 39
games.
39 games. We've
39.
lost 8 games. Yeah. People can't say it's not. You can give me any stat you want in the world. The only stat I'm interested in is that we're in the top 2. Now, at the end of the season, if we don't go up, we can all have a conversation and say, this didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work. But ultimately, you can blame players. And we've got a manager, and I said this last week, that everyone seems to love, me included, who's sticking with these players and these formations and having Conway out wide. To say it's not working, I don't care what stat you give me, we're second in the league.
We are also breaking teams down because we are creating chances every single game.
I agree with that, yeah.
We're creating enough chances in games to win the game 3 times over, but we're just not taking them. And that's as equally frustrating for us as it is for the manager, because he's tearing his hair out as well.
The biggest myth in this fan base is that we can't break down a low block. We've had 70-odd shots. It's just the final. It's just the final finishing touch. Yes, it's the most important one, but to say it's not working is a myth. Because what we had in 3 games, we've probably averaged 75% possession and nigh on 100 shots in 3 games.
I don't think
it's not working.
I don't think we can do a lot more in terms of domination. It's incredible, really, how much we dominate that ball.
I mean, I agree with Hellberg. I agree with Hellberg where he's going along the lines of, I'm keeping going with this because eventually it's going to turn, it's going to click. And I agree with that. It's up to the players just to be more clinical in front of goal. Interestingly, though, I thought Hellberg sounded a little bit different yesterday, where he wasn't going gung-ho to try and get the win yesterday against Blackburn. I was quite surprised with his comments, Graham, and I'll just read them to you.
Yeah, okay.
When we're mentioning why he didn't bring on a Calais Sen or a Cruz Ibe to win the game, he said today they haven't played, but they could still play a big part in it. There are different types of games when you need different types of things. It was also a question of asking how many offensive players can you put on in the second half and not lose. Now that's different. They opened up in the later stages of the game. They put 2 good attackers, which meant they were able to open up a bit more transition. If we had lost this game in the 95th minute on a transition, then it would have hurt us because the point is very important. So that's a little bit of a change by Hellberg, that he's going...
He's protecting the point.
He didn't want to lose it. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think what happened last week at home to Bristol City has had a bearing on that?
100%. That's what I was about to mention. Yeah, he's learned from that draw. And like you say, he's protecting the point and he's respecting the point. Because any away point is a good point. But in our situation, it's frustrating because realistically, we should be taking them chances and winning that game. And we should have done the same at home against Bristol City. But we haven't. But we're still second. So we have to take that as a positive. We can't just be more our luck all the time. We've got to try and build from what we've achieved so far and just kick on. But yeah, it is incredibly frustrating. I don't know any answers apart from a bit more work on the training ground in terms of finishing and decision making and composure. But that's something that you can't really teach. It's within. It's players play on instinct. And for them chances to not go in yesterday, the Brown one where he's chopped back, just put your right foot through it. I'll say it again. Morris, just show a bit more composure. Tommy, control the ball. Agonising, but I'm sure Hellberg's suffering the same frustrations, and I'm sure he said to them in the dressing room afterwards, come on lads, help me out here a bit, because he's doing his bit, he really is. And whatever system or tactics you can talk about, they're not really affecting the game in terms of us dominating, because we could play 3-5-2, 4-2-2-2. We will still have 75% of the ball because that's how good we are in terms of commanding the game. But it's down to taking chances, and it's been our Achilles heel all season. It was our Achilles heel under Carrick, to be honest. So we've not necessarily kicked on in terms of being able to put the ball in the back of the net. And it can raise all sorts of new arguments. Should we have signed a striker in January? I was pretty content in the January window. At the moment, it's looking a little bit worrying because we're not taking chances. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we should have brought a striker in. But that's a debate for another day. I think we should maybe assess that one at the end of the season. But for now, hope the players can start finishing.
Cuts, I'm coming to you. I was reasonably okay yesterday with it. I was more down with the Bristol City result at home in the last minute. Yesterday, I felt like we haven't got beat. We've kept a clean sheet. The result went for Millwall against Ipswich. Not ideal. We obviously all wanted 3 points, but it's an away point in the bag. And we'll play Millwall next, and move on to Millwall. And as I say, Kim Hellberg come out after the game more or less saying, protect the point. It could be an important point at the end of the season. That was quite a contrast, I thought, to the emotions at the end of the game, Cuts, which I'm going to come to you, both of you on, actually, because after the game, there wasn't really that sort of feeling within the 7,500 travelling army. There was a lot of apathy, a lot of anger at full time.
Yeah, there was a few instances in front of us where fans were having a go at players, and then certain players have had a bit of a go back, namely Riley and Morris. And then certain fans have got onto social media or whatever, having a bit of a whinge that players have had to go back. Well, why can't they? I'm all for that. If you think you can go in there, gives dogs abuse, you pay your money, which is absolutely fine. But to think that you're not entitled to get a little bit back from players who, in my opinion, yesterday didn't shirk any responsibility. The effort was there. It's a game. Beforehand, I always say respect the opposition. But afterwards, you can watch that game. That is a game we should have won. So I understand the frustrations. But because of players give you a little bit of a go back, and you're having a whinge to anyone who'll listen, and grow up a little bit. Eh?
Bandy, what were your thoughts on the shenanigans at the end of the game? Was it just handbags?
Muppets, idiots. That's not the players, that's the fans. Don't be having a go at your players, dear me. It's embarrassing. Grow up. Deal with it, man. The result hasn't gone your way. Don't throw your toys out your pram and start lambasting players. The players are trying. You can never knock a player for not trying, because they do try. They're probably mulling it over in their heads. Why didn't I make this decision? Why did Morris will be thinking, why didn't I put the ball across the keeper? So you don't need fans digging players out. They know their mistakes. They know when they played crap. They know when they played well. So just leave it. If you're a player, you go over, you clap the fans, and you get off, to be honest, as quick as you can. Don't hang about and wait for bad vibes. It's not right. So, no, I can't stand stuff like that. It does embarrass me.
If you ever go at anyone in any form of life, to not expect a little bit to come back towards you, what's that all about? Of course, you're going to get a little bit back. You're grown men, grown women, whatever it is that are having a go. Expect it back. If you're going to give it, just take it on the chin. It shows that they care, shows that they're passionate. I'm all for it.
If I'm Riley or Morris in that situation, I'm fronting up, I'm going over to the fans and I'm having to go back. Because I wouldn't take that crap. No chance.
Well, all I would say is, we desperately need the fans from now at the end of the season. I mean, the support yesterday was still absolutely magnificent.
Phenomenal.
There's not many teams in this country would take 7,500 like that. Tremendous, tremendous backing. Now, what we need now is the Riverside to be sold out for the Millwall game. Let's get 30,000 in there. Let's make it intimidating for Millwall. They like that come with the intimidating factor. Let's make the Riverside intimidating for Millwall, and let's go and get the job done, because I think if we can beat Millwall at home next game, that will absolutely just change the whole dynamic of the fan base, the belief around this football club, right at the right time as well. Maybe we've had our little blip, we've had our little run of not winning, not scoring, which we've done before under Hellberg. Let's go and beat Millwall and change things around and come really strong right at the right time at the end of the season, because we can still do that. This team is still capable now, in my opinion, of winning 3, 4, 5 games off the back straight away. No doubt about it, but beating Millwall is key to all that. We need to beat Millwall.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dicko. We had a pivotal game under Carrick. We won 1-0 against Millwall. We weren't in great form, but we found a different way to win the game. And we won 1-0. I remember it distinctly. And I think it'll be that sort of game again. It'll be a very, very tough game, that. So we're going to have to try and find a formula to win. But also, we're going to have to fight as well and dig in. Because they'll be coming here thinking, right, we can turn these over. They won't be coming for a point. Not a chance.
I watched them yesterday against Ipswich, and they did have a go against Ipswich as well.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I was quite encouraged by that, because I thought, well, if they're going to have a go at Ipswich, they're going to have a go at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And I think if they have a go at Middlesbrough, it helps us to, the way we play. So I hope Millwall come with exactly the same game plan as they had at Ipswich to go toe-to-toe with them, because I think Middlesbrough, if we go toe-to-toe with Millwall, we'll beat them. If we are going to beat,
if we can take our chances,
well, and come to the next point, if we are going to beat them, a lot of it's going to be down to what team we can get onto the pitch. So, well played to the Middlesbrough players who've been called up on the international break. Alan Brown returns to the Republic of Ireland squad. Tommy Conway is being called up for Scotland. David Strelec is with Slovakia. Riley McGree, Australia. Sonja Hansen with Curacao. And Aidan Morris with the USA. Now, as we know, key factors in this is if we can get Aidan Morris and Riley McGree in particular back to the Riverside in time to play in the Millwall game, and also hoping that Hayden Hackney can return from his calf strain. Now, Australia are playing in Sydney and Melbourne against Cameroon and Curacao, Sonja Hansen's side, at 9:10 in the morning on Tuesday morning in Australia for the second game. Aidan Morris's USA are playing at Atlanta. They're playing Belgium and Portugal. The Portugal game kicks off on Wednesday night at midnight on Wednesday night. So unless Middlesbrough can try and negotiate with the football federations of the USA and Australia to say, listen, the friendly games, this is a huge game for our football club. Is there any way you can help us to get our players back in time to play against Millwall? Middlesbrough have got a huge problem on their hands. A problem that I don't think should happen. I think it's a problem that the EFL should be stepping in and saying, listen, key games like this for clubs at the top of the division, we can't be putting them... Surely it's not a fair contest if one team's got 3, 4, 5, 6 international players away and the team that you're playing has got none away, or very few players away, or players that are going to be back. Surely that's not a fair playing field. The game should be switched to the Saturday to give them an extra day to get back. Or the Premier League don't have this problem. The Premier League work it out right so the players can get back to play. So I don't see why it's not the same in the Championship. So for me, it's a problem that EFL need to solve. But let's hope, because Middlesbrough are very good, I think, with players going away to play internationally. Surely Middlesbrough have got a real, hard conversation with the USA and Australia, in one which we hope Australia and the USA, look, kindly towards Middlesbrough with, and try to get those players back to play.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they come to a compromise and maybe played one game and then you flew them back and give them a bit more time to recover. But to play both games is total madness, and I don't see... I mean, the chances of them coming back injured are pretty high, to be honest, knowing Borough's luck. So... yeah, I don't like this conflict between international and domestic league. It's always been an issue, particularly with McGree, because he's having to fly halfway around the world to play a game. And I think you've got to have some dialogue with the international coaches to see what sort of system you can put in place for getting them on the pitch for both teams, really.
Coach, I'll come to you on that. I mean, it's the World Cup coming up. I totally get it. It's a massive opportunity for Aidan Morris and Riley McGree to play in the World Cup in the USA. Totally get that. But surely the players have got to show a little bit of loyalty to the football club as well, which, is a huge game for us against Millwall, and maybe try to say to the coaches that obviously they love to play for the country, want to play for the country, but also acknowledge that Middlesbrough playing Millwall is equally as important.
From our point of view, it's more important. Now, do I blame Riley for travelling halfway around the world and Morris? Absolutely not. I'll use this word, idiots that are making games with 7 games left to go in a Championship season that could be worth to us 200, 300, 400 million pounds. And they're making friendlies to travel halfway around the world. It's absolutely ludicrous. It makes no sense at all, whether it's us, Ipswich, Millwall, Sunderland last season when they were going for the playoffs, Sheffield United, anybody that think they might be able to get in the playoffs. It's absolutely mental, to be honest.
I'm not so sure a friendly game's going to dictate a decision whether a player goes to the World Cup or not. That international managers will probably already have an idea who's going to be in their squad. So for me, it's just getting an extra cap for now.
Let's be honest, they can go out there. One of them could go out there, play 10 minutes and pull a calf muscle after travelling for God knows how long on a plane, and then they're out. Which absolutely, if Hackney's not available for Millwall, would absolutely ruin us if we don't have McGree or Morris. Do they care about our club? No, they don't. So I'm saying it from us. It's not a criticism of Australia or America. It's FIFA. People who have these windows with 7 games left in the championship and you're having an international break. Makes no sense at all.
I could understand it more if it was actually a senior tournament, a tournament with meaning where you could actually win something, but meaningless friendly games, if the players stood up, and I think they should be happy to pass on that one and just say, look, my loyalties lie here. I'm playing for the club that pays my wages. But they're not going to do that. I understand it's prestige, it's another cap, and you're representing your country. But the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal.
I just think there's scope, Andy, for both to happen. You can go and play for your country, you can play for your country, but we can also get you back in time to play for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you can come to a compromise, then fine, everybody's happy. But we just got to hope and pray that they don't get injured, because going into that Millwall game without a midfield would be a serious worry. You were just relying on Alan Brown to run the game, because I'd be slightly concerned if Gilbert had to come in.
Yeah. Obviously, we need Hayden Hackney to come back. Hopefully,
yes,
fingers crossed, that's going to be key as well. Listen, just the Midas Claddon prize draw for the meet and greet with the Borough 2015-16 promotion side at the Town Hall. The winner's been drawn. We're going to be in contact with them this week, and we'll announce the winner on X this week. We'll post who's actually won the tickets, but it has been drawn. We're just waiting to get in contact with the person to announce who it actually is. But we'll stick it on X this week. But thanks for everybody that's entered and retweeted and reposted. It's great. Thanks for that. So we'll get into some fans' questions, boys, because we had quite a few excellent questions for the two of you from the Borough fans this week. So I'll start with you, Mr. Cutler. Drew Stevo, what would you do differently to change our look? We just lack composure in the box, sometimes look scared to shoot in case they miss. Not in Morris's case, he just can't hit a bondo.
I think I replied to Drew actually this morning, and what would that change? We're dominating games, we're creating loads of chances, we're just not scoring. I don't think... I'm going to put this politely. Some of the players that have come in and are supposed to be coming in to score goals haven't covered themselves in glory. So I don't think you change too much. You just hope that things will turn around. And obviously there's going to be a big discussion at the end of the season for whether we have went up or whether we've blown it. But like I said earlier, we're second in the league. I wouldn't change too much, to be honest.
Yeah, fair point. I would, as I said earlier on, me personally, I would try and get Tommy more centrally. With Strelets, I would try and use at our disposal what we've got, which is a Sarmiento, a Castledine, a Morgan Whittaker. I'd try and get one of them back in to have a little bit of flair, out wide on the left, out wide on the right, and try and get with strikers where they need to be for the last 7 games in and around the box. That's the only thing I would change other than that. Graham, I'll come to you on Paul McLean's point, which is, what does Sarmiento bring to us? He reminds me of Iniacho as so ineffective when he comes on. Am I wrong? I expect to see him open up defences with excellent crosses or dribbling even. I'm not blaming him, but what does he do? Should we have got a striker instead of him?
Good point, yeah. Possibly we should have done, yeah. But I expected Sarmiento to have already chipped in with a few important goals. And he hasn't. He's had a few starts. He's been brought off. He's been brought on second half to make an impact, and he's not really impacting for me at the moment. I expected him to have already made an impact and possibly picked up a win or two for us. I think his best position is on the left, coming in on his right foot. I think if you play him on the right, he'd be a fish out of water because he can't really come in on his left foot. He's a tricky player. He can move. He can get around the pitch quickly. He can get defenders turned, but he just lacks something for me. That final touch, that final shot. He was unlucky at Coventry. I mean, that great shot off the post, but that's probably the only thing I've seen him do, if I can remember correctly. So he's got to make more of an impact for me. But he just reminds me of a little bit of a Duracell bunny, just running about, and eventually he'll just run out of steam. He's got to do more.
It'd be interesting to see if we don't go up, if we would actually take up the option to sign him for £3.5 million.
He's almost a luxury player in a Premier League squad, and probably that's why he's here now, because he can't get a game for a Premier League team.
So we've got a great question from Louise Donaldson. I know we're second, but it's feeling more precarious with each passing game. Should the worst happen and we slip up that place, how on earth do you feel about the playoffs? Do you think it will end well, or do you think the players' confidence will be gone?
I think the playoffs are a lottery, aren't they? I certainly don't want to be in them, I know that much. After being top 2 all season pretty much 99% of the time, I think it'd be a massive disappointment, and the players would feel that as well, although on the outside they'd say we go again, which I'm sure they would. We've seen we can beat any team on our day, but that's the last thing I want to see, Louise, the playoffs. No thanks.
Bandy, if we do make the playoffs, you can see it written in the stars. The Championship Zidane returns to the Riverside for Southampton. I really don't want to go down that road of getting... It already stinks the place out of the Norwich playoff scenario, where we beat Norwich at home 4-0, beat Norwich away 1-0, as we did with Southampton. Sorry, we drew with Southampton away, beat them at home. And then you get them in the playoffs and they're flying on a high. Middlesbrough are gutted that they've dropped into the playoffs. I really don't want that scenario to happen.
Yeah, my gut feeling is if we do fall into the playoffs, we'd be so psychologically damaged as a team and as a fan base. I think we'd find it hard to go again. Like Kut says, the players will say, right, we're up for this, but realistically, I think it will be a tough ask, particularly with the form Southampton are in. I think 8-9 straight wins now, is it?
9 in 12, isn't it? Yeah.
9 in 12. So they always say the team with that resurgence towards the end of the season generally goes up. We saw it with Sunderland when they got through the playoffs, but I'm not a fan of the playoffs anyway. Just as a system, I don't like it. I prefer 1, 2, 3 up and 3 down. But it is what it is. It's a money making scheme for the EFL and the FA, and it doesn't work for me. So no, I don't like the playoffs. I hate them. In fact, I remember us having 2 games against Villa under Pulis, and we didn't have a shot in 180 minutes of football. We got battered at Wembley by Norwich. Just awful. So no, not for me. Just get up, stay second.
I think an interesting point. I know he left under bad terms, Finn. But imagine if we'd have had Hellberg at the start of the season. Imagine us playing in this team, in this formation with all the ball. He would have been absolutely fantastic for us this year. Yeah,
I'll just say
left, sour taste in the mouth, but he would have been great for us this year under Hellberg.
Well, what he was good at was being a flat track bully against the lesser teams. Which is what we can't do. Can't beat them, can't score against them. So he definitely would have had an impact for me. What I would say on the playoffs, because I thought about this today, I thought it was a really good question by Louise. When I take away, me panicking head and not wanting to be in the playoffs and, think about it sensibly, I think Kim Hellberg actually could do quite well in the playoffs. And what I mean by that is, if Middlesbrough finished 3rd, we would play the team that finished 6th, right? So our first game would be away from home. Now, Middlesbrough are a superb away team. That team, whoever we play, would have to come out at home and try and win the game in front of the home fans. So that would set us up nicely as an away team for the first leg of the playoffs. Then they've got to come to the Riverside. If we've got the lead, they can't defend at the Riverside. So we've got a great chance, in my opinion, over 2 legs, playing away first and home second, whoever we play under Kim Hellberg to get through. Then... another positive is, if we did get to Wembley, can you imagine the way we play this Kim Hellberg team on that beautiful, big, huge pitch with loads of space at Wembley? I know we don't win at Wembley, but you never know. Under this manager, it could just work, because I would fancy Middlesbrough under Kim Hellberg in the playoffs under them scenarios, rather than we did against Michael Carrick, rather than we had Tony Pulis. I think Hellberg actually could do quite well in the playoffs, but I don't even think about it. I really don't.
You've obviously put a lot of thought into it. I mean, that was eloquently put, to be fair. I quite like that idea, but no, you're right, Dicko. Let's not entertain it, please.
I know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later down the line.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. Cut Stephen Brownless Give credit to Rovers' defence. McLaughlin and Cashin were outstanding. Toth and goal brought out 2 amazing saves. I'm convinced that with the amount of shots we place, someone's going to cop for it soon. Hopefully Millwall. 7 games to go, and second, we'd all have taken that, which is what you've said, Cuts.
Correct.
Smithborough Brian Bandy. 9 wins and 3 draws in Southampton's last 12 league games.
All right.
Are we destined for typical Boro moment with Finazar's scoring at the Riverside? It beat us in the playoffs. Just mentioned that there, Smithy, so we've covered that one. Peter Clements Cuts. We really struggle to break down sides that don't attack us, but being that both Millwall and Ipswich will more than likely attack as they need to, do you think that it suits us? Great podcast, lads. Really enjoyed. Keep it up. Thanks for that, Peter. Come to you, Cuts.
Yeah, I think we mentioned earlier, I think it's a myth, the low block. So even against the teams that do come and sit deep with created chances, it's just about us putting them away. Yeah, they'll attack a little bit more. Funnily enough, on the way home from Blackburn yesterday, I heard Alex Neil interview where he changed it around, but they'd practiced on the Friday of playing with 2 up top. So he said it didn't work and he knew they had to attack a little bit more second half, so they'd already planned for 2 up top. Now, I think if they come with 2 up top against us, it's a massive thing to have Fry back against Millwall, in my opinion. You can go up against Josh, hopefully handle him pretty well. But it'd be interesting to see them come here playing with a 2 and trying to attack us, because I think that'd give us lots and lots of space in midfield.
You've just mentioned Josh Coburn there, Cuts, and I'll bring this last question in, Bandy, before we move on. This is from Alan Darbo, and it's our favourite subject again. Will Tommy Conway adopted dads, meaning the Purviers, will the Tommy Conway adopted dads get off the fence and see him for what he is? Not good enough in any capacity as a striker. Conway has 8 goals in 39 games. Josh Coburn has got 6 in 20 games. When Josh Coburn has a better goals per game ratio, then you know what you're simply not good enough. So he's not a massive fan of Coburn either. They can avoid the questions as much as they want. 8 goals and 2 penalties and 15 big missed chances tells you its own story. You're completely right all season, Steve, meaning me. Conway's inability to perform to an average standard has cost us automatic promotion. Well, it hasn't cost us automatic promotion yet, Alan, because we're still second in the league. But I'll just come to you, Bandy, on the point he's making. Do you think now it's looking like a mistake for Middlesbrough to let Josh Coburn leave for £5 million?
Not particularly, no. He's not exactly set the header alight and scored a boatload of goals. He's got a little flurry of goals recently, and he's a capable player. He's a good player. I enjoyed watching Josh for Boro. I liked it when Carrick put him up on his own and he was holding the ball up and bringing others into play. But he doesn't suit the mould of Kim Hellberg. He would look like a fish out of water in the system, I'm afraid. So, no, I'm not too bothered about him going to Millwall. He suits their system. They like to get the ball quick and high into the box as often as possible. So he wouldn't be great for Boro, I don't think. So it's easy to say, yes, we do miss him because he's scoring a few goals recently, but no one mentions Josh Coburn when he goes 10 games without a goal. So it's just fits and starts for strikers. They go through gluts. I'm sure Tommy will have a spell. I really believe still that he'll get 3 and 4. I think that could happen. Josh could happen the same if he was at Boro, but he would also go through spells where he wouldn't score for 10 games. So no, it's a hypothetical question, really, because we don't know, because he's not here and he's not ingrained into the system that we play.
Cuts, I'll bring in a second. I'm just going to say, I think hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I don't think any Middlesbrough fan that I've seen when Josh Coburn left the football club for £5 million complained. I think that was good money that we got at the time for Josh. It was a good move for Josh himself to play in the Championship. It's up to Middlesbrough to recruit better. It's up for Middlesbrough Football Club to recruit different options up front to give us different dimensions to a play. I think if you're asking, would Josh Coburn get in the Middlesbrough team now? Absolutely. Would we be playing him now for Haddam? Absolutely. But was it a good deal at the time to get £5 million? For me, absolutely. I'll bring you in, Cuts.
Yeah, just a quick reply for Mr. Darbo Eats Palmo. I don't think he's ever heard me or Tommy's other dad over there say that Tommy's the best striker in this division.
Exactly.
It's an absolute load of baloney. So we've never once said that. I said in November that I thought we should have brought in another striker. What I'm saying is that he's our best option, and I still 100% believe it after watching yesterday that he's our best option. Now, I totally get your point of view, Dicko, about him moving into the middle and playing him there. fine with that. But in my opinion, 100% compared to the other two centre-forwards, not the young kid, the other two established centre-forwards, Tommy starts ahead of them still for me. I might get dog's abuse for that, but I totally believe it. I think he's our best option at finishing in the top two.
I agree with you, Dad.
Thank you.
Thank you, son. Right, we'll move on for the last part of the show, and we're going to bring back, it was popular, we've done it a couple of weeks ago, we had the typical Boro top 10, and it was strikers. So Mr. Cutler wasn't available for that one, but he is today, and I thought we're going into an international break, so we'll do another one, and then we can stick it online, and you can all debate whether it's the right top 10, whether the two in front of me on my screen are right in the selections and how they've put it together. So for a bit of fun, before the international break, it's a typical Boro top 10. The two, Mr. Cutler and Mr. Bandera, they don't even know what top 10 they're going to have to judge on. I haven't told them. I prefer it to be
sneaky,
dropping it on them. It's more fun. So this week, guys, the typical Boro top 10 is hard men.
Ooh.
Middlesbrough hard men.
Ooh, love this.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the list, and you guys are going to put it from number 10 to number 1 in order of who's going to be Middlesbrough's top hard man. Not on the list, Robert Huth, Tony Mowbray, George Boateng, Robbie Mustoe, Brian Robson. Reason why? They were all hard men, all quality players, but for me, the people that are on the list, in my opinion, had better housery, shall we say, were more sneaky, more deviant, and fit the bill better than those. Those are all brilliant players and were hard players, but I think the majority... Robson didn't play a lot, Mustoe was hard but fair, Boateng similar, Mowbray similar. Robert Huth, he never got a red card for Middlesbrough. He only played 53 games. If you're looking at Robert Huth over his career, he maybe would have sneaked in, but that's why they're not in. But we'll put that out for the fans to debate. So this is the top 10, okay, for you to debate. The top 10 is in no particular order, because you're going to put it in order.
Right.
The top 10 is...
down.
The top 10 is, in no particular order, Danny Mills, Jamie Pollock, Gianluca Festa, Gary Hamilton, Nigel Pearson, Emmanuel Pogatetz, Barry Robson, Grant Ledbetter, Lee Cattermole, and Paul Ince. Now,
wow. Good list. Very good list.
And we have some stats for the players to go through as we go. So I'm going to start with you two. You're going to come in with your number 10. You've got to work as a team. Who are you going to pick between you as number 10? If you want to ask a player statistics, I can give you the statistics.
I'm going to highlight Festa as my 10. I don't think he was a cultured centre-back. He was very good. He tackled hard, but I wouldn't class him as an aggressor, as a hard man.
Would you like his statistics?
Yeah.
63 games for the Borough, 33 yellow cards and 4 red. And I think he was a black belt as well, wasn't he?
I would... Personally, I'd have, as hardman, I'd have Festa higher than 10.
Would you? Okay, fair enough.
I think there's a few massive omissions, though.
Yeah, where's Dean Glover?
He was in my head, that's what I was just going to say.
I'll go even further back. Where's Mick Kennedy?
I tell you one thing, remember, which I didn't mention this at the start. It's only going from the last 40 years. So it's 86. Right. It's from 80, same as last time. So it's from 1980. It's from 1986 to 2026.
That's fair enough then. Yeah.
I think it might be easier here if we go from number 1, because I think it'll be easier to name the top 5, won't it?
No, that's what the rules, Cutler.
We've got to go backwards,
10 up.
have we?
Bending the rules here, Cut. Yellow card straight away for Cutler. Go on and Cut. I'll concede Festa. As soon as you have him.
Press you.
If it's not Festa, then in 10, Ince was pretty hard, wasn't he? He's got to be higher up the list.
He's top 5, isn't he? Go on then. How about you? We'll put Festa at 10 then.
Gianluca Festa comes in at number 10. As I say, 163 games.
Who would you have had as 10 then, Cuts? Do you think Grant's quite high up the list?
Grant would be there. He's going to be I think he's going to be in between 5 to 10, isn't he, Grant?
Yes, definitely.
From some of the players that are above him. So
come on, guys.
Put Grant at number 9.
You're putting Grant Ledbetter in at number 9.
So Festa 10, Grant 9. Yeah.
Grant Ledbetter, guys, 224 games for Middlesbrough, 59 yellow cards, 1 red.
Yeah, so not many reds, and you can get yellows for anything these days. Just dissent, so that's not been hard, is it?
Number 8.
Who have we got left of the ones that wouldn't make the top 5, Graham?
I'll go through the 8 we've got. So we've got Millsy, Pollock, Barry Robson.
Pollock for me. Pollock's
definitely 5 to 10, yeah.
Pollock at 8, Robson at 7.
You've got to agree. Do you agree with Pollock's at number 8? Really?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't class him as a seriously hard man. He loved to tackle, but he was a little bit clumsy with it as well. I prefer hard men to go in hard, but also win the ball and be
Pollock's
be
at
dominant.
Number 8. Pollock played 174 games, 18 yellow cards, no reds.
Yeah, so that's justified then if you haven't got a red.
Having said that, I think you'd have got a few more these days.
Yeah, yeah. Most of these would, yeah.
You've got to take that into consideration that the times were different then. So
we got Festa 10, Grant 9, Pollock 8. I'm happy to put Robson 7. Robson's synonymous with the number 7 anyway.
Barry Robson,
whether
comes
it's
in
Brian
at 7.
or Barry.
Robson.
Are you happy, Cuts, putting?
Yeah.
Barry Robson. He was a quality player, by the way.
Good player, tenacious.
Even when we were crap, I was still happy to go at the match just to watch him. He was brilliant. One of the
Barry's
best left
stats are quite
good
as well, to be fair. Barry Robson, 87 games, 22 yellows and 3 reds. So Barry liked to mix it. He had 8 red cards in his career as well.
Yeah, he was good. Strachan's finest moment. The rest was just garbage.
That's leaving you now, guys, with Paul Ince, Emmanuel Pogatetz, Nigel Pearson, Gary Hamilton, Danny Mills.
Good hard list, isn't it? That's not bad.
I think Mills and Pearson might take up 6 and 5, personally.
Yeah, I think Mills is higher up the list than Pearson. I think Pearson's harder than Mills.
So Mills 6, Pearson 5, yeah?
Yeah. I know Danny, he's a soft lad really, but he was tough on the pitch.
So, Danny Mills, 37 games, 10 yellow cards for Middlesbrough, no red. Nigel Pearson, 138 games, 11 yellows, 1 red. But again, different times for Nigel Pearson.
Yeah.
Which brings you to your top 4, which will be Gary Hamilton, Emmanuel Pogatetz, Lee Cattermole, Paul Ince.
I think Cattermole next.
Yes, I agree. So Pearson was 5, wasn't he? Lee's 4.
So Lee Cattermole at 4 had 61 games, 21 yellow cards. But I think in his career, I think he got 8 reds, but none with Middlesbrough. They're all with Sunderland and Wigan in Wigan Athletic.
Yeah.
So that brings you nicely down.
It's a good top 3. This Cuts. Hammy, Poggy, and Ince.
It'd be interesting to see if we agree here, but I'm going to go for Pogatetz at number 3. I'm going to go Ince at number 2, and I've always said one of my all-time favourite players watching, he would tackle a brick wall. Gary Hamilton at number 1. That's where I'm going.
That's my order. As soon as you brought that list out, as soon as Hamilton was mentioned, I thought, well, he's my number 1. No one's beating him. And then when you mentioned Poggy, I thought he's got to be in at least the top 3, 4, 5.
Where are you putting him? 2 or 3?
I'm the same order as Cuts. I'm going Ince 3. Pogatetz
3.
Poggy 3, Ince 2, and Hammy number 1. Yeah. Ince was class. Best £1 million Robbo ever spent. He was brilliant for us.
So Emmanuel Pogatet's 152 games, 32 yellow cards, 1 red. And Paul Ince, 106 games, 27 yellow cards, 1 red. The only one I don't have the stats on is Gary Hamilton because it's a different time. I do know he had a red card against Shrewsbury in the 84-85 season, but I couldn't find the total statistics regarding his yellows and reds for Middlesbrough. But obviously his reputation, goes is well known in the borough. So your list, guys. Great. For the hard men this week: Gianluca Festa, number 10, Grant Ledbetter, number 9, Jamie Pollock, number 8, Barry Robson comes in at 7, Danny Mills at 6, Nigel Pearson at 5, Emmanuel Pogatetz comes in at number 3, Paul Ince comes in at number 2, and Gary Hamilton wins it. So what we'll do is we'll stick them out on the socials, and see if the fans can agree with the order of player that you put them in. I also had a nice snippet from Alex Ferguson regarding Emmanuel Pogatetz.
He was a nutcase.
He was involved in a red card on Manchester United's Rodrigo Pospon in a League Cup game, which Pospon was stretchered from the pitch and sent to hospital. Alex Ferguson said it was absolutely a terrible tackle. Pogatetz should have just walked off the field. Pogatetz went on to serve a 3-match ban. He also joined Middlesbrough, if you remember, from abroad. He came in from Sparta Moscow, where he had just broke a bloke's leg, and was already on a ban for 24 weeks when he joined Middlesbrough, which he got reduced to 8 weeks. He famously also had that altercation on the pitch with Davies, the Bolton Wanderers striker.
Covered in blood.
Covered in blood. That was another moment for Emmanuel Pogatetz.
Well, in the blue shirt.
Yeah, he also went on to break his cheekbone, break his jaw, and fracture an eye socket, and played on for Middlesbrough a few months later with a mask.
Yeah, I remember the mask, yeah. Iconic. So yeah, great one, that. Loved that.
So yeah,
but yeah,
so we'll get that on the socials and
bonkers.
We'll see this week if the fans agree with who's Middlesbrough's hardest men, shall we say. It's fair to say us three weren't in contention.
You're not getting relegated with that lot, are you?
Anyway, guys, pleasure to have you on again. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have a little
fantastic.
We're going to have a little break for the international break, the same as the players, and we'll be back after the international break. So remember, Borough fans, don't say typical Borough. Watch it, listen to it, and we'll be seeing you shortly. Up the Borough.
Up the Borough.